speaking of the Civitan Club, joining us now live, Mike and Lauren King, new representatives with the Civitan Club of Dayton. They normally, again, would join us live in studio. Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Hi.
How you doing?
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Mike, let me start with you. For folks who may not know, give us the quick rundown of what the Civitan Club is and why you've decided to be involved with URS for so many years.
Certainly. Again, so the Civitan Club is not new. It's an old club, founded again originally in 1917. The Dayton Club was founded in 1921. So this is our 99th year here in Dayton. And every Civitan chapter really just finds some way to support the community. Our specific vision or mission has always been really in two key areas. The one that really applies here, is, of course, is the support of children and adults with medical and physical handicaps. And Baby URS is all about that.
It is indeed. Lauren, let me go to you next if I could. Hi, good. Let's talk about the many ways that the Civitan Club supports URS, things like the Rubber Duck Regatta, and much more. Run down the list for us.
Well, like as you said, we do the Rubber Duck Regatta every year. In most circumstances, we actually do help during the process. And we also do fundraisers at UNO's for every year, which we just did this past, a couple months ago?
Yep.
And we actually went over our number. And so we were really happy that we could put more money towards the event this year. And we also do the golf outing, and we're also looking to assist and expand our relationship with URS very much going into 2021.
Yeah, one of the challenges, of course, is how does Service Club, and I'm sure URS is in the same kind of position, how do clubs and organizations that really want to reach out and help the community, how do we accomplish our mission in the middle of a pandemic? And so we're looking to assist URS with some additional projects as far as putting together some STEM kits, as well as helping them with putting together some cards so they can go ahead and send out to their customers, to the people who provide or receive their support. So that's, again, just another thing that we're looking to work with URS on this year.
Yeah, 2020, Mike and Lauren, has forced all of us to become more creative in just how we live our daily lives, how we support the causes important to us. It's been a very challenging year, as you can imagine, for nonprofits and charities in the area. So again, just an even more of a reason we need people to go to a phone right now. Give us a call, 293-0200, or donate online, ursdayton.org. Kings, thank you so much. Have a great day. Happy holidays.
This is the time where I'd hold up a big check for $1,000 from the Dayton Civitan Club. So again, the check is on its way. I will drop it off to Dennis on Monday.
Okay, there you go, Dennis. Add that to the tote board. Yeah, Mike, that's right. We're normally sitting right over there, and you hand me the big check.
Yeah.
All right. Kings, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
All right. Take care. How about a tote?
Yeah, that would be a good time for this here.
That's where we were. Brr, drum roll. Nice jump, $28,000. $65. That's where we are. We're halfway home, Brookmore.
This always goes by so quickly. So we're taking a look there at the total. Also, we are taking your donations until 2 o'clock. We want to get those phones ringing as we're halfway through the show. We need support here for the local children and adults with disabilities who are receiving services at URS. These are the friendly faces taking your phone calls today. We want to see the phones in hand there. The number 937-293-0200 so that you can pledge your support. We also have those great incentives for those of you thinking about making a donation. For every donor, $50 to $99, you will get a free regular sub from Jersey Mike's Subs, and every donation of $100 or more will get the sub plus a deluxe car wash at Butler Auto Bath. So thank you for those of you at home making a donation, and again, thank you to our wonderful volunteers who are taking your phone calls today. Well, coming up now, Chris spoke with the staff at URS about the programs that are offered from the employment services of URS program for high school students.
I'm back with Jeremy Nelson, the Employment Service Manager here at United Rehabilitation Services. One of the programs that URS provides is Project Search, and it provides job training to high school seniors who, with disabilities who are in their 5th year, or called super seniors. Am I right? That's what they're called? So
right.
They want to stay in school for another year, and this is a program that is supportive to them and their goals as they plan on graduating from high school. Can you tell us a little bit more about Project Search and exactly who's involved?
Yeah, so Project Search is an international model. So more than it's just a program, it's a fidelity model, which says if you do things this way, it will help these students transition to employment after school. So we have an actual Project Search because we call it Project Search because we use the Project Search model. This is a service that is paid for through Opportunities with Ohioans with Disabilities. So any student that has a case with Opportunities with Ohioans with Disabilities or attends a school that's affiliated with one of these programs could be eligible for these services. Though there is a pretty lengthy eligibility process because identifying the students that were a good fit for this program is an important part of the success of the program.
Okay, excellent. Now, in terms of businesses, what are the advantages to a business hiring a person with a disability?
Well, there's a lot of different benefits of hiring individuals that we work with and individuals with disabilities in general. What we found through the research that we've seen, the research that we've been a part of, is that there tends to be higher retention rates. So there's not as much movement between jobs. There's less of a spirit of entitlement, and they really enjoy and like being a part of the community and feel connected to the employers. And that also, because of their work with individuals or services like ours, they're able to have a deep sense of what they're good at and what they may not be as good at. So if we're able to find a job that really fits their strengths and needs, they'll be able to do that at a pretty high quality and do that for a long period of time.
Because I know that you spend a lot of time with those students, helping them to figure out what is your passion, what do you really enjoy doing, and that's really cool. Now, if businesses are interested in finding out more about Project Search and how they might get involved in terms of having some of our graduates be employed with them, how would they go about connecting with you?
Yeah, so there's different ways employers can get involved. You don't actually have to hire someone to get involved in our programs. So Project Search is just one of the programs we have. Job development is another one. But the main goal of Project Search at the end is to get a job based off the skills you learn through Project Search. Because Search itself is a 9-month rotation at a host site where they get to learn the different jobs, and they learn what jobs they like and what jobs they don't like. They're held accountable. It's treated as if they're an actual employee at this employer. So you can either help us by being a host site, or you can help us with our leadership programming where we go out and actually meet with employers, or you can help us by letting us come in and do interviews and career planning services with them. Or if you're really interested and you think that working with us would be a good fit for organization, you could ultimately hire someone based off of their strengths and qualifications.
Great. Thank you, Jeremy. This was a really interesting conversation. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're here with Alex Wright and EJ Lower, URS job coaches who worked with the URS Summer Youth Program this summer. It's a 3 to 5 week service that gives transition youth, ages 16 to 22, the chance to learn about the world of work by providing virtual employment classes and hands-on work experience in the community. Alex, tell us more about the Summer Youth Program and the benefits of the service.
So Summer Youth is a great program because it really gives the participants a chance to get some hands-on experience, but also learn the soft skills that go with having a job in the community. So we talk about topics like interviews, how to dress, how to answer questions, how to solve problems in the workplace, things like that. And then they also get a chance to get some hands-on job skills, and they can put that on a resume to get the job that they're looking for out in the community.
Great, thank you. And what's your favorite part of the program this year?
I just loved seeing the kids every day and seeing their progress. Even if we had them for 3 weeks, you could still see the improvement every day as they learned new things.
So what kinds of things did they get to do? What kind of experiences did they have?
So the participants that I worked with, we actually worked at URS. They learned some cleaning skills. We did some outside gardening skills, organizing and cleaning, things like that.
Great. EJ, I know that despite COVID-19, that this year's program was incredibly successful. Can you tell us a little bit? You told me earlier that this is your second year, so you've experienced this program pre-COVID and now this year as well. What was different this year than last?
Well, we had to make many changes based around social distancing. So a big portion of the program was online this year. So they got to do a lot of similar activities that we did last year, only on an online format. For the in-person portion of the program, we just really worked with them to get in the habit of doing those daily symptom checks, temperature checks, getting used to social distancing, basically doing everything that they would on a job site.
Great, great. Well, tell me, if people are interested in getting involved with the program, what can they do? Who do they need to contact?
Well, you can first contact Employment Services at URS at 937-233-1230 or at ursdayton.org. And also they can contact the Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities at 937-331-5000 or at oodworks.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much, you two. It was really lovely having you, and good luck with the rest of the year.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. So that's the story with Project Search and the Summer Youth Interview Program. Just one of the many, many ways that URS helps so many people in this community. But they can't do it without your help. And this is that one day a year we come to you live and ask you for that help. Please get to the phone right now if you haven't called already. 937-293-0200. Our virtual phone bank is alive and ready to take your phone calls right now, or you can donate now or online anytime. URSDayton.org is the website you need to go to. Let us next go to our Dayton Freight Corporate Board. These are some of the great organizations who have supported URS by donating $500 or more in the year 2020. Let's thank them publicly, starting with Lisa Hanauer and Sue Spiegel Fund, Marjorie Wendell Kenoy Charitable Fund, the Marsh and McLennan Agency, Marty and Dottie Miller Fund at the Dayton Foundation, Matthew J. Scar, CPA, McGowan Bravebender, great guys, have supported us for a long time, Messer, of course, MetLife, Miami Industrial Trucks, Miller Valentine Group, Mix 1077, hello to all our friends there, happy holidays, Modern Technology Solutions, Inc., the Hale Group at Morgan Stanley, the Noon Optimist Club at Centerville, I've spoken to their group a couple of times, O'Dime and Estes Law Group Incorporated, the Ohio Arts Council, the Ohio Elks Association, we heard from Mike Iddings earlier, and Orbit Industrial Group. I ride past their place all the time on my bike as I'm headed south. So thanks to all those great corporate organizations who have supported us this year in the URS Telethon. Now it is your turn. There's the clock. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Mary Reek. Reek Services will match your pledge now dollar for dollar for the next 3 minutes. So please, this is the perfect time to call if you haven't called yet because the Reeks are going to match your donation dollar for dollar. 293-0200, ursdayton.org. Again, if you can donate $10 or more per month, we have the perfect program for you. It's called our Monthly Giving Circle. You simply set up your amount. Your credit card or debit card is automatically billed on the 1st or 15th of every month. You set that up completely. It's very easy, very simple. Also, keep in mind, if you're lucky enough to work for the many great local businesses, organizations here that matches charitable donations, boy, this is the time for you to triple your donation because your dollar will be matched by Reek Services and by your great employer. And again, the incentives we're offering this year for any donation of $50 to $99, we're going to give you a free regular sub from Jersey Mike Subs. Those are delicious. And every donor of $100 or more, you get that sub plus a deluxe car wash at Butler Auto Bath. Joining us now live at URS at the Eichelberger Community Center, Dennis Grant back with us. Dennis, again, the group of people who've been, with your organization for a long, long time, Harold and Mary Reek have got to be somewhere at the top of that list.
They are very special to United Rehabilitation Services and to me personally. I met Harold at a golf outing about 12 and a half, 13 years ago, and he very quickly got engaged with United Rehab Services after taking a tour, becoming much more familiar with the work that we do with kids and adults with disabilities, because he and Mary have a real heart for those kids. And I tell you, Harold joined the board 12 years ago, and REAC Services as a company has been integrally involved in everything that we do. They've come out and give hats and gloves to all the kids and adults at winter. They've played Santa. They do a lot in terms of volunteerism, and over $100,000 in support just from the company. But you know, Harold and Mary really stepped up and made a lead gift in our capital campaign to support our expansion. And actually, we now have the Harold and Mary REAC Children's Center, where we're able to serve 120 children with disabilities, providing nursing services for seizure monitoring, G-tube feeding, managing seizures, all the things that we have to do to support those kids, just like you saw with Tyon earlier. And it's thanks to Harold and Mary that we're able to make that possible. But you know, they find a million ways to give. They've donated vehicles. They've found a lot of ways to support us. But we are blessed to have families like that involved with URS who really care about the people we serve. That's what really means something to me. So thanks to Harold and Mary. Sorry you couldn't be here today, but we're so happy to have you with us every other day.
That is the truth. All right, Dennis, thank you very much. That's it for our 3-minute match. Thanks again to Harold and Mary REAC and REAC Services for making that possible. Now to what has become a huge success, a big fundraiser for URS. It's the annual URS Rubber Duck Regatta presented by Synchrony, another corporate organization that supports URS to a high degree. It has become actually United Rehabilitation Services' largest fundraiser of the year, bigger than even this telethon. I've been happy to be part of that. Brooke has as well for many, many years, but this year was different, of course, because of COVID. This year I did it with Kim Ferris, longtime famed radio personality here in the Dayton market, and we were actually part of the event on the big screen at the Dixie Twin Drive-In, my first time on the silver screen. It was very exciting. Dennis has more on that now, talking with Todd Rodden, Nancy Slezak, and Quackers, of course, about this year's event.
Well, hey, Quackers, good to see you again. Yay, welcome back. Hey, not only do I have Quackers here today, but I've also got Nancy Slezak and Todd Rodden from Synchrony. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Great to be here. Well, I tell you, you know, it's been a very strange year this year, and especially for ducks. You know, we had to really pivot quickly when all this kind of fell apart around having outdoor events. So we were able to take the Rubber Duck Regatta and go virtual at the Dixie Twin Drive-In. And what a great event it turned out to be. You know, I got to say, hard to believe we actually sold almost 20,000 ducks, even in a pandemic, right? But we really do appreciate the support of the community and everybody who came out to make this a success. And of course, for the 6th year in a row, Synchrony helped make this a success as our presenting sponsor. So, hey, could you guys talk a little bit about this? Nancy, can you talk about Synchrony and why you got engaged and what you love about URS and the Rubber Duck Regatta?
Absolutely. Well, our employees love the Rubber Duck Regatta. It's one of the events that they most look forward to participating in. We have a lot of fun with it, and obviously we've been doing it for several years now, but pre-COVID, we used to actually get together and have a fun kickoff in our food court. You would come, Quackers would come, the ambassador family would come, lots and lots of fun. But our employees got really engaged by buying lots of ducks, also encouraging the sale of lots of ducks. And we would have fun events, even had a dunk tank, which Todd, bless your heart, you participated in. We charge for fun activities because all the money we raised went to URS. We sold cookies, we sold snacks, t-shirts, you name it, we did it all. And we even had employees that helped out, tag the ducks and clean them up, and all of us coming out to participate. So we did come out this year. We went to the drive-in. Lots of fun. I enjoy getting to see Back to the Future for the first time in several years, so that was fun. But it was a great event.
It really was, wasn't it? And, you know, we do appreciate your support. And Todd, thank you so much for getting in that dunk tank. Several of your leadership did that, and it took me a few times to get somebody, but I tried repeatedly. So Todd, why do you feel like Synchrony is such a big supporter of URS?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons, but I think one that really stands out is, one of our core values as a company is caring, right? And we try to really create an environment within our workplace for support for our employees that also extends beyond the four walls of our workplace or our individual teams out into the community. So very important for us to provide support and extend out into the communities in which we work in. And I think we also recognize that normally that your fundraising efforts are just critical to, it's the lifeblood of you being able to provide the services that URS provides throughout the year, but especially in a year so challenging like this due to the COVID pandemic. They're really important for us. If we can provide support there to help you extend your fundraising activities, it really helps us provide more support to community as well.
Well, thank you. It's great to have somebody like Synchrony who really does believe in giving back and engaging with this community, and not just URS, but so many organizations, but we really appreciate it. Hey, so this is the deal. Next year, we're hoping to be back on the river and go live at the Hispanic Heritage Festival again in September, but you never know. So, depending on how things go, we may be back virtual at the Dixie Drive-In again. But we do appreciate your support. We know you're going to be with us once again. And thank you guys so much. You knocked it out of the park with duck sales internally this year. We really appreciate all that you do in so many ways to support kids and adults with disabilities here at URS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite events every year. If you haven't seen it, it really is such a cool sight to watch them dump all of those ducks there into the water and wait for the race there. So wonderful event. We're now going to go live here to the Eichelberger Community Center at URS here as we're joined by our telethon chairs, Matt and Eileen Bonelli. It's hard to believe we have a little more than an hour left here. It always goes by so quickly. And we've been hearing some incredible stories so far of all of the people, adults and kids, who benefit from these services here at URS. You are also an important part of this year's telethon as the chairs. Tell us why this is so important to you.
Well, thanks, Brooke. We're just having a lot of fun over here. So yeah, we're down to about an hour left. Clearly, this is such a wonderful organization we're glad to be a part of. It's just been such a strange year, such a strange 2020. Anybody who knows Eileen and I knows we love to golf, we love to go out to dinners, we love to enjoy time with friends and family, and I think we're all missing a little bit of that this year. We would love to, go to charity fundraisers and auctions and golf outings and all those things, but obviously that's been cut way back this year. So what better year for a telethon, what better year to raise money for URS?
Absolutely.
That's right. We appreciate, we're making some texts and some phone calls.
Yes, very good, and we appreciate all of your work there on the other end of this virtual telethon this year. Lastly, why don't you tell us and the people at home why URS? Why is that personal for the both of you?
Go ahead.
Yeah, again, we've got a few friends who have had some kids with congenital disorders. It's just very near and dear to us. And then just the leadership team here, so important. Dennis Grant leads a great team, and everybody here we've just fallen in love with, and just doing such a great impact locally right here in our community.
All right, Matt and Eileen Bonelli, this year's chairs for our telethon. We'll be checking in with you here in just a bit. We'll let you get back to texting and making those phone calls as we are trying to get all of our friends and family here to donate today. With that, we'd like to now hear from Dennis Grant and Miami Industrial Trucks to learn about the many ways they've supported URS over the years and are this year's Pay It Forward award winners.
I want to welcome George Malakos to come join us today and talk a little bit about Miami Industrial Trucks and their long history of supporting United Rehabilitation Services and the children and adults with disabilities we serve. You started helping us out some time ago, and could you just talk a little bit about how you got involved with United Rehabilitation Services and how that all came about?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. It happened about 7 or 8 years ago. I met you, Dennis, in a fundraiser on a Monday golf outing for Optimist Club, I think. But then I got a call from you shortly thereafter, maybe 30 days, and said, hey, we were in the process of upgrading. We need a forklift, and we'd like to buy one. And I said, before we do that, could I come out and look at the application? when I got there, you were kind enough to show me around the facility, take me to the application, but then you said, hey, how about me giving you a tour of the facility? And I was just so impressed after the comprehensive tour you gave me. And I could not believe what my eyes were seeing. And then when I got out of there, honestly, I had tears in my eyes. And I got back and I told my partner, we're going to give the forklift to United Rehabilitation Services because of what they're doing for the community.
And the rest is history. I mean, after that, I know you really helped us out with our capital campaign, but we really appreciated you all helping out with that. And I mean, monetary contributions, as well as helping us when we built the new barn for storage. You helped us with the shelving and racking units out there. You guys have done so much. Can you talk a little about how you got Mark Jones and the whole gang involved? You said you went back and talked to him.
Yeah, I sure did. I got to tell you, I think you're doing God's work there. All the great services. And I knew when you told us about your capital campaign and you wanted to expand and you had a wait list and everything, I knew that was very important to you. So I told Mark, we're going to do a corporate donation, and then I'm going to do one myself. And then Mark said, well, I'm going to do one too. So I think you gave Mark and I a tour of the facility, and I wish more people could come to URS and see what you're doing for the families in this area and providing this wonderful service. It is unbelievable. So from that point on, we've been close with you, and I've met you and seen you in different functions, and we try to do anything we can to help you, your organization going forward.
Well, you know, George, we really appreciate that. And I think you make a really good point, and something we're really struggling with, of course, during this COVID-19 pandemic. We can't have people from the outside in the building at all. So hopefully today, as part of our telethon, people will be moved by what they see and hear here and join in and help support us just like you all have. But, you know, I want to say that you and Mark and everybody at MIT have been so great. Not only did you donate the forklift, but you've trained and certified a number of our staff and even some of our employment services clients who've been trying to improve their skills, become more marketable out in the community as we help them with job placement services. You know, and you found a million different ways that you can help beyond monetary, and that's really something special, and we're blessed to have you all as friends. And that's really one of the reasons that today I'm able to present to you the Pay It Forward Award, because I got to tell you, you guys have found so many ways to pay it forward with United Rehabilitation Services. So we want to make sure that we recognize the special things that you have done to make a difference in the life of URS, but also in the thousands of kids and adults with disabilities we serve every year.
Well, thank you very much, Dennis. On behalf of all the employees of Miami Industrial Trucks, we are good corporate citizens in this community, and we really have a lot of respect for your organization, what you do, and we want to continue to help you in any way we can. We got the rubber duck regalia coming up next year, 2021, and we donated a container lugger that now you're going to be able to put in 40,000 ducks when you have your next year fundraiser, which I know is an important one, and it turned out real nice. I wish you and your organization the best of luck, and we're going to be behind you many, many years to come. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Miami Industrial Trucks, just one of the many, many local businesses, organizations that support URS. And we need you to join in right now, 293-0200, or go online and donate safely there, ursdayton.org, because we are down to about our last hour. Hard to believe. We've been here since 11 o'clock this morning. If you're just joining here at nearly the top of the hour, welcome. Mark Allen, Brooke Moore here with you live in the Channel 2 studios. It's the 42nd annual URS Telethon here on WDTN. Let us go now and acknowledge some of the many folks who've been on the phone or online helping us this year. This is our REAC Services Star Board. These are folks who have donated $50 or more to this year's telethon, so let us thank them by name, beginning with Lisa Cobb, Jerry Jacobs, thank you so much for your generosity. Morris McDaniel, thanks for your donation. James Engel has been with us today. Richard Waldron also. Richard, thank you so much. And we'll drop it down now to Joe and Terry, the Baldessare Fund. Joe Baldessare, of course, many, many years, ran URS when I first started doing the telethon, worked with Joe many years. Joe, if you're watching, good to hear from you. I hope you're doing well. Happy holidays. Michael Dowdy, donating here today as well. Thank you, Michael. Jackie and Charlie Hazel. The Hazels know URS very well. Laura Phillips, thank you, Laura, for your donation. Myron, there's Lois Lane again. Look at that. She's a reporter, right? Just like us. All right, Lois, thank you for supporting your fellow journalists. IBEW, Nika have been great supporters over the years. Mary and Niels Winther. Guys, good to hear from you again. Thanks for your help. Reggie Lewis donating today. Greg and Sheila Wasmond. Thank you, Wasmonds, for your generous donation. Paul Beckman, thank you, Paul. Michelle Zinkowitz, thank you, Michelle, for getting on the horn and giving us a donation today. Deborah Durr has been one of our donors today. Thank you, Deborah. Kendra and Nick Oral, thanks, guys, along with Marianne Kink. Marianne, thank you so much. There's my friend Vivian O'Connell again. Vivian, hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying your new endeavor, and I know she knows better than most. Once you're involved with URS, it stays with you forever. So I'm glad Vivian is staying with us again this year. Tim Hull, Richard Skelton, we mentioned him earlier. And finally, I think we got one more row, William Mott. Rhonda Hartsock, thank you, Rhonda, very much. Gary and Diane O'Connell, one of our donors here today. And Flo and Pete Lanesa, mentioned Pete. Pete, good to hear from you. And finally, Jane Wampler. So those are some of the many folks who have donated $50 or more to this year's telethon, and we'll try to acknowledge some more of those folks before we leave you at 2 o'clock this afternoon. But right now, let's learn a bit more about this year's ambassador family, Tyon Thompson and his aunt, Erica Curry. Take a look.
Today, I wanted to introduce Erica Curry, who is the aunt of our young ambassador, Tyon. Good morning. Erica, you know, we really appreciate you taking time out to come join us today. You know, we're very excited about the fact that Tyon is making a lot of progress, but can you describe just some of the challenges that he faces and how URS has been able to help him?
Well, Tyon, he was in the hospital for 8 months of his life. He was born with a diaphragmatic hernia, meaning that he doesn't have the diaphragm to hold his intestines and organs in place. So he had to have surgery to get that corrected. So as a result of that, he was in the hospital. He also has issues with feeding, so he has a feeding tube, and then he also has issues with swallowing as well. And then he also has developmental delays as a result of being in the hospital for that long. And so URS helps him with all of those things, and also his therapies, which is like speech and occupational therapy and physical therapy. So they're helping him develop. And he's been there since he was 8 months.
Yeah, he's been here for a while, and we're glad to see the progress. And I know you've mentioned several times how important it is for someone who's taking care of a young child, and you have other children as well, and not to have to worry about sitting in waiting rooms 2 or 3 nights a week for him to get all those therapies. So we're very fortunate that we're able to offer those on site. And we certainly appreciate everything that you do to partner with us to make it possible for Tyon to make all that progress. You know, some of the goals I know he's working on right now, and he's doing really well. Can you say a few words about that?
Well, his goals right now, we want to get him walking, we want to get him talking, and eating. So those are some of the goals that he's working on right now. He has come a long way, because when he first came to URS, he wasn't doing anything. So from like all of his developmental milestones have, you know, occurred there at URS. They helped him along.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and thanks for your confidence and trust in our programs.
All right, and with that, let's take a look here. This was our old total, $28,065, and the, yep, drum roll, please. Look at that.
$39,440. Thank you, Miami Valley.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody who has donated so far. Fortunately, though, we have another hour left here for you to call and make a donation. These are the wonderful faces, the people who are going to be taking your phone calls. They've been with us here all morning and afternoon. That number, 293-0200. You can call and make a donation. If you'd like to do it online, ursdayton.org is available as well. We want to remind you of those incentives today. For every donor, $50 to $99, you'll get a free regular sub from Jersey Mike's Subs, and then every donor of $100 or more will get the sub plus a deluxe car wash at Butler Auto Bath. We also want to once again thank our presenting sponsor, IBEW and NECA. And with that, we'd like to introduce you to the URS Employer of the Year and to find out how they find it beneficial for their business to work with the Employment Services Program right there at URS.
Serving up sandwiches for customers on a daily basis, Firehouse Subs is also serving in another way, not just filling stomachs, but filling hearts.
I've got a long, loving relationship with URS. I've got family that actually is, has been there for years.
The bonds of that relationship morphing into a partnership. Owner Seth Grusenmeyer has been helping put URS clients to work since 2018.
Whether it be wiping down tables out in the lobby or sitting there behind the line rolling pickles. One of the participants, he was probably the best pickle roller I've ever seen.
Making the most mundane task meaningful.
Their ability to make a life for themselves and to have their own money and their own income and a job they enjoy, I mean, that's the American dream, and we want that for them as well.
And that's what Firehouse Subs offers. So it comes as no surprise it's earned the title of URS's 2020 Employer of the Year.
They were able to go above and beyond when other employers weren't really willing to do that right now.
Even in the midst of a pandemic, a handful of URS clients working on the sub line.
This is more than just, these kids helping us make a sandwich. This is, actually helping them further something in their life.
The relationship reciprocal.
We feel the employers are able to get something out of it just as much as the participants.
And Firehouse Subs is hoping to grow and expand that.
Their mission is something that we really believe in. It means the world to us. We'd love to bring more in, potentially hire some, of the participants that come in and, help us out.
Kelly King, 2 News, working for you.
All right, 2 News reporter Kelly King helping us out with that story. Kelly, thank you very much. It is time now, I believe, to go to the Dayton Freight Corporate Board. There it is. These are some of the great organizations who have supported URS by donating $500 or more in this calendar year of 2020. Let us thank by name the Phil Rizzo Fund for Students in the Miami Valley, PNC Foundation, the Pilot Club of Dayton, Cane's Chicken, that's some good eats, RB Juergens Contractors, Reek Services, the Rotary Club of Miamisburg, Route Song Charitable Fund of the Dayton Foundation, the Ruckman Family Philanthropic Fund of the Jewish Foundation, Sporties, Trikes and Bikes, thank you Pinger, Synchrony Financial, Target, the Fred and Alice Wallace Foundation, the Gerald M. and Carol A. Miller Family Foundation, the Ivanhoe Fund, the Ladies of Philip Tokus, I think that's right, of Dayton, Ohio. Thank you, ladies. And finally, the Mary H. Kittredge Fund. That is our corporate board for this half hour. Now it is time to hear once again from Chris Corbo, who sat down with Jody Ferris and Josh Ty, our adult ambassador for this year's telethon.
Hi, Jody and Josh. It's wonderful to see you.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me today. Josh started attending programming at URS about 4 years ago.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, Jody, if you would mind sharing with us how his life has changed in those 4 years.
Well, there's been a great deal of confidence building in Josh and relationship building with his peers, as well as the staff there. He used to go to a Montgomery County program, and then that all changed with some regulations that came through. And we had a whole long list of providers that we looked at, and URS just felt like home when we visited. I loved the atmosphere. I loved how everyone knew all the clients' names, all the staff. Some of them had worked with Joshua prior to other things where he may have gone to a dance or something. And it was like, hey, Josh. And he was like, I know people here. And I really just liked the sense of home that URS provided on that first initial visit that we went to. So I was like, yeah, that's the place for him. It was where he felt most at home, and he was smiling, and yeah, so that's where we ended up at URS. And in the past 4 years, Josh has learned so many skills vocationally. He's learned things that enrich his life personally. There's art, there's field trips pre-COVID, and all of those things have made him, I just settled and happy. And those are the things that we most want for him, is a place where he can feel like he can grow, where he can learn and feel safe. And I think all of those things happen at URS. So he sometimes gets afraid to try new things. And I think at URS, they provide that safety net, like, let's give this a go and we'll make it work. So those are the things that most impressed us with URS. And those are the things that have, over the past 4 years, we've seen leaps and bounds of development with Josh.
Great, thank you, Jody.
The only thing different about being back is it's a little weird because it's like,
with the
you'll
COVID.
be back and it's like, oh, everybody's just going to come back in a year or two.
Right.
And most people are going home.
Okay.
Now, Josh, if you would please tell me, and it's up to you now, what do you like best about coming to URS?
Just like a big old family.
Yeah.
Just fun and just fun and just, you just have fun with it.
I'm glad.
But,
I am so glad.
Wearing these masks getting a little ridiculous.
It's for safety.
Well, I know you guys are just starting your job and keep us along.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Josh, what is your favorite thing to do here at URS?
Just art, just being in the room with everybody.
Right. Wonderful.
Laundry and everything.
Laundry. He's very skilled at laundry.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, Josh and Jody, it's been wonderful getting to catch up with you today.
We wish you all the best. Everyone stay safe.
Thank you. You stay safe as well. It was nice seeing you, Josh.
Bye. Thank you.
Some great people right there. And since United Rehabilitation Services has not been able to have visitors because we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, they've created a video so that you can see firsthand the miracles that occur there every single day.
Since 1956, United Rehabilitation Services has been meeting the needs of children and adults with disabilities and their families. During these extraordinary times of change right now, we continue to be there for many people. Although we were forced to close for a period of time, we did reopen with pandemic childcare as well as adult day programming to support those families of essential employees who are trying to get back into the world and get some normalization in their life. We continue to support those individuals in our 5-star rated early childhood education program, where we're a partner with Preschool Promise, Head Start, Early Head Start, and meet their needs by having RNs and LPNs on site to even address the needs of medically fragile children. Our therapy program has expanded since providing telehealth to over 100 individuals for a month. We've now been able to come back into the clinic as of June the 1st and are now seeing all of our patients again. Our adult day programming is very similar in that regard, in that we're able to provide small group activities in a very safe environment. One thing unique to what we do here is being able to provide intensive nursing services as needed, even for medically fragile adults and children, and especially our seniors. This has become an even more critical aspect beyond just the G-tube feedings and the breathing treatments and managing oxygen. And recent studies have revealed that individuals with developmental disabilities who contract the COVID-19 coronavirus actually have almost twice the death rate. So we have to do everything we can to keep them safe. We've been working very hard to bring new technologies into the classrooms and program spaces, with our multiple intelligent touchscreens as well as tablets throughout the area. Our employment services program was actually one area that never ceased services during this epidemic. However, they were providing exclusively remote services for about 6 weeks. We have now returned to the community and we are placing people on jobs. And our summer youth program, although being provided remotely, is allowing those high school students with disabilities to gain skills and to learn about the world of work and prepare themselves for entering the community later on. Our goal is to enhance the quality of life for children and adults with disabilities and to support their families, promote inclusion, and advocate for them in every way we can. And right now we are finding many ways that we can reach out to our legislators, to the community, to make sure that we have a safe environment when they do return. And we hope that when Ohio fully reopens that you'll come and visit us and take the opportunity to see the many miracles that occur here each and every day. So please stay with us, monitor our Facebook page, look at our website. We're constantly updating to make sure you're aware of what is happening in this community relative to the people with disabilities that we serve. We appreciate your support and we look forward to seeing you soon.
You know, there are many, many great ways to support URS, but in recent years, I think this one has become my absolute favorite. It is the Young's Ice Cream Charity Bike Tour that's been around for many, many years. It supports URS and 3 other great local charities. Joined today by 3 of my good friends and fellow riders. We welcome in the man himself, Dan Young from Young's Dairy, along with Storm Team 2, Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis, and Rick Crouch, one of our riding buddies as well. Guys, good to see you. Dan, let me start with you. Let's kind of just talk about the history of this event. You've been around for 18 years. It keeps getting better and better, but you had to really make some changes to keep it alive this year. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, this year was very exciting because normally we have a 2-day ride in July. Obviously, we changed things around. We weren't sure what we were going to do, but the committee worked hard and we finally said, let's do a 1-day ride in late September and hope for the best. And it worked out really well. We had a lot of riders, not as many as we normally do, but quite a few. But at the end of the day, we raised as much money, if not, well, we raised more than we did last year. Our sponsors came through for us, lots of riders, lots of volunteers. Everybody did a lot of work to make it happen, but we had a nice, safe, socially distant. We had about 150 riders spread out over 90 miles. That's pretty distant.
That's pretty good social distance. Here's some pictures of this year's event. And Brian, of course, I always check with you with what the weather's going to be like on ride day. I kind of liked it later in the year. It wasn't quite as hot.
Well, 2 years ago was when we had the 90-degree heat and the humidity was incredibly high.
I'm still recovering.
And, this year was just delightful. We had perfect conditions. That's, of course, you're right. You're rolling the dice. You get to late September, we can get a windy day with 30-mile-an-hour winds and temperatures in the 50s. But this year it was just beautiful. I think the highs, if I remember right, were in the 70s that day. The humidity was low, a little cool at the start. But just some great weather to ride. I've been with Dan doing this ride since way back, well, what was it, 2001? Was that the first year, I think?
I think that sounds right. Yes.
Yeah, 2001. So we'll be coming up, here he is, 2021 coming up for the next ride, which it will be another 1-day ride this year. Usually we have the option of a 1 or 2-day ride, but with the COVID uncertainty, at least at this point, we're going to do the 1-day ride, and maybe in a couple of years, we'll be back to that 2-day ride again.
Yeah, flexibility is the key. You're right, Brian, for all charities or charitable organizations these days. Rick, let me go to you next. Good to see you, my friend.
How are you?
Good, very good. Thanks for joining us. I think a lot of people may be somewhat, just casual cyclists might be somewhat intimidated by doing, a big-time organized charity ride. But this, I've told Dan Young this many years. I've ridden in Pelotonia. I've ridden in all kinds of charitable bike events. To me, the Young's Ride is the best ride I've ever taken part in, and it's for every level. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, we can supply a route for just about any level of experience. We have routes from as low as 24 miles up to, well, we're planning on doing a century this year, and various routes in between. You can get a 25-miler, 50, 60, 75, and 100. So we cater to pretty much any level of cyclist. So even if you just want to come out and have a nice casual day, come on out. You'll still get your lunch, have some good camaraderie, and visit with some other good cyclists.
You know,
And
Dan.
ice cream.
Yeah, there you go.
Lots of ice
Cream at the finish line. Yeah, with the salted caramel, is that the one everybody goes for?
Quite a few, yes.
That's your incentive to get in early, just so there's still some left in the cooler. Dan,
Yeah.
finally to you. One of the nice things I like about your event, and there's many things I like, I've told you this over the years, but the 4 charities that benefit, including URS, they also give back as part of this event on our training rides and in the actual ride day. They're the folks who man the rest stops. I mean, they're out there helping as well.
Yeah, it's great. They really come through for us. Like you said, we do have planned 4 rally rides next year, and each one charity will take each one. And then of course they're all there on ride day helping us at our rest stops, and our rest stops are great. Plenty of water, plenty of fruit and other snacks individually wrapped this year.
And they're all about 10 to 15 miles apart. So, you know, it's some rides it's 20 to 25 between the rest stops, but we keep you well hydrated and lots of food, lots of treats, and of course the ice cream at the end of the ride.
Yes.
All right. It is truly a great event, well supported, all the food, the drink, mechanical, medical if you need it. I mean, it is the best charity bike ride in this part of the country. I encourage you to join us next year. Until then, Brian, I guess I'll see you at work. And Rick and Dan, hopefully next time I see you, maybe on a bike. What do you say?
I hope so.
Great.
Yeah, out on the road.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's put up the clock because it's time for another matching segment. This one sponsored by IBEW and NECA. And I think we're going to have that ready to go here in a second. Okay. Before we go to that, let me tell you more about them. It's the 9th year IBEW NECA has served as the presenting sponsor of this URS Telethon. We're extremely thankful to the Labor Management Cooperative Committee for supporting local children and adults with disabilities. We're about to now begin, I guess, our 3-minute matching segment. So this is your chance to double your donation. Watch now as Greg Gus tells Chris Corber why the LMCC finds it important to support URS, and give us a call.
Thanks to IBEW NECA, your donation to URS will be doubled for the next 3 minutes. I'm here with Greg Gust, representing IBEW NECA. Many thanks, first of all, for being our presenting sponsor. We really appreciate it. This is the 9th year that you all have been our presenting sponsor, and over the years donated over $75,000 to URS. So thank you so much. Please, can tell us a little bit more about IBEW and NECA.
Yeah, my pleasure. The IBEW stands for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and we are industry partners with NECA, which is the National Electrical Contractors Association. And through the partnership, we have an organization called the Labor Management Cooperative Committee. And it is the goal of that committee to look to community organizations and donate to the ones we feel are worthy and do a lot for the community in general.
Great. Well, thank you. And over the years, you've also been involved with the Rubber Duck Regatta. I can't tell you how much your support means to us. Why do you choose to work with nonprofits, and specifically, why URS?
Well, as I mentioned, through our LMCC, we take a hard look at different charitable organizations, and we believe the mission of URS and the fine work that the folks down there do, the adults and children with disabilities in the Dayton area. It warms our heart to be a continuing sponsor of both the Telethon and the Rubber Duck Regatta. I encourage, not in a non-COVID world, for those that haven't, I know you guys aren't doing tours of URS now, but to see the actual, to see the individuals on TV, it's different than when you go take a tour, and that's what I encourage. I brought a few of our office people down there, and it really tears at their heartstrings when you actually take the tour through the place and the amazing job that you guys do down there.
I got to tell you, we just really appreciate everything you do. And again, Greg, thanks so much for sitting down with me today.
It was my pleasure, and We hope to be a continuing sponsor for years to come.
Thank you so much.
All right, about 10 seconds left to go here in this 3-minute match with IBEW and NECA. Any donation you make within this time frame will be matched dollar for dollar here, and that does it for us. But again, 937-293-0200. That is the number to call today. We do have one more 3-minute match coming up, so if you're thinking about donating and you haven't done it yet, that might be a good time to do it to make those dollars really count here. And with that, I believe we want to take a look now at our REAK Services Star Board, to all of the wonderful people out there who have already donated to this year's telethon. Thank you to Lisa Cobb and Jerry Jacobs today. We appreciate your donation. Morris McDaniel and James Engel, thank you so much. These are people who have donated $50 or more to the telethon this year. William and Jerry K. Eldine, we appreciate your donation as well. Joe and Terry Baldassar Fund and Creamer, thank you so much. Adrian Barkley, we appreciate your donation. And Laura Phillips, thank you to you as well. Todd Rodden, thank you for donating. And we have that number up there still and the website if you'd like to donate. IBEW and NECA, Mary and Niels Winther. Reggie Lewis, thank you so much. Greg and Sheila Wassman. Paul Beckman, thank you for donating. Michelle Zinkowicz, we appreciate your donation today. Deborah Durr, Kendra and Nick Orrell, Marianne Kink, Vivian O'Connell, Tim Hall, thank you so much for your donation. Renee Long, we appreciate it. If you'd like to see your name up here on the star board, you know the number to call. Michael King, thank you so much. Rhonda Hartsock, we appreciate your donation today here on the REAK Services Star Board. Gary and Diane O'Connell, Flo and Pete Lanasa, thank you very much. Looks like we're rounding it out. Is this the last star? And Jane Wampler. So again, everybody there on the REAK Services Star Board has donated $50 or more to this year's telethon, and we greatly appreciate it. With that, Dennis Grant and Gary Allman are now going to discuss the progress URS has made this year and how people can still support URS.
Gary, thanks for joining us again today. We appreciate you always being a part of what we're doing here at URS. But we wanted to talk to you a little bit today about your role with URS and how you got involved. I mean, you've been on the board of directors for a number of years now, and you're finishing your second year in your presidential term. So we certainly appreciate what you've done with that as far as the leadership of this organization. You know, is there anything in particular you can think of, a moment, an experience you had that really, I guess, inspired you to get involved with URS and join the board and be part of the leadership?
Well, Dennis, first of all, thank you for interviewing me today. I wish we could be doing this live on TV too, but I got involved because primarily the thing that I think tripped my trigger, so to speak, are our children. Everything from the smallest child we have up to high school age and beyond. I really, my heart goes out to any child who suffers any type of problem of any kind that makes them non-typical, makes them unable to enjoy life to the fullest as other children can. And knowing what we do to bring those children along and help them and make them better able to be self-sufficient. And I don't want to minimize our effect with adults, our adult services programs, et cetera, but the children are just the thing that touches my heart the most. So that made it an easy decision for me.
Well, and I know you really appreciated that issue that we had with our waiting list for a couple of years, trying to get kids and adults into programming. And you co-chaired our capital campaign committee to help us raise funds to double the size of our facility and expand services to hundreds more every day. And we really appreciate that. You know, I tell you, as far as that goes, is there anything you can say about how you got involved with that or why you wanted to help co-chair that?
I, as you are and were, was concerned with regards to our ability to handle all the children and adults who need our services in the greater Dayton area, the demographic we serve. And when you approached me about the idea, and I think this was my first year on the board actually, and I thought I might be a beneficial use. I know quite a few people, and I thought I could really help us raise money in the campaign. And I took it as a personal challenge also. And I stepped up to the plate there too. And because I believe in in URS, I believe in what we do, our mission. And I was so pleased that we raised that money. And I think we've retired the entire debt. Actually, I don't know that we had a huge debt, but we retired everything. We accomplished everything we wanted to do. And we have doubled our capacity. And we got rid of that waiting list, and I'm very pleased. And I hope that if we end up in that situation again where we need to increase again, I'm still around, and I'd volunteer in a heartbeat to work. I don't know if I'd co-chair it, but I'd be happy to work on a future campaign if we had to have one. Because again, URS is one of a kind in not only the Dayton area, but as far as I know, anywhere. The mission we have and the accomplishments we've achieved with regards to supporting our clients.
Yeah, and we really appreciated that. It was greatly successful. We actually wound up raising more money than we ever thought we could in the beginning.
Yes, we did.
And we did actually pay that entire debt off this year, and our final collection has been made. So 100%, that was wonderful. So, you know, I know you were one of the inaugural members of our annual giving circle. And, you know, that has just really been an amazing vehicle for us to get more people involved from the community and do annual or monthly giving or what have you. But, you know, is there anything in particular you feel helps to drive people to get engaged and to be a part of the giving circle?
Once again, I think people who believe in URS, it's an easy decision. I recognize that we all have different abilities to give. URS is at the top of my philanthropic list every year. It is a tremendous way to help us cover the costs that we have to provide those services our community needs desperately. And we have to pay our bills, and it's a great way to raise the extra money we need to do that.
Well, and I know a number of people have commented that they really appreciate the fact that, you know, we operate like a business. We're very efficient as well as effective, and have kept our administrative and fundraising overhead under 10% the last 8 years.
Stole my thunder there.
Yeah, we're really pretty proud of that we can share that with the community so they know that more than 9 out of every $10 they donate goes straight to programming and kids and adults.
All right, there you go. Dennis Grant-Garry-Almond, a good guy, a fellow board member of mine at URS. There's where we were, I do believe, and then drum roll, and here's where we are now. We're over $50,000, exactly $53,000 on the tote board with only a half hour to go, so please get on the phone. Give us a call, 293-0200, or donate online. ursdayton.org is the website that you need. There are our virtual phone bank operators. Hello, guys. Give us a wave. That's a great shot. The only problem is nobody's on the phone. Give them a call. That's right. Give them a call right now. You can make that one-time donation through the monthly giving circle. If you donate between $50 and $99, you get a free regular sub from Jersey Mike's, and every donor of $100 or more gets the sub plus a deluxe car wash at Butler Auto Bath. So give those folks a call. They would love to hear from you between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon. Also, once again, a big thank you to this year's presenting sponsor, IBEW NECA. They kicked the whole thing off by turning on the lights here in the studio. We appreciate Greg and the gang. Up next, Chris Corba speaks with Robin Lightcap, Executive Director at Preschool Promise, and URS's Tracy Palabla about the Preschool Promise program. Take a look.
I'm here with Robin Lightcamp, the Executive Director of Preschool Promise, and Tracy Polabel, the Youth Services Manager at United Rehabilitation Services. They're here to tell us about URS's partnership with Preschool Promise. Robin, can you tell us a little bit about the goals of Preschool Promise and how it assists families in our community?
Sure. Preschool Promise is here to help kids get ready for kindergarten. That's our purpose, and we come alongside families and the children who are in preschool age, and also our infants and toddlers, and just working with all of the families to help them know what they can do with their children, help them find a high quality preschool, and when they get to age 4, helping them pay for preschool if they need that help. We also help our teachers and the staff and our childcare and preschool programs get really high quality training so we can always be learning the best new ways to help our children get ready.
Great. Hey, Tracy, why is this program so important?
Well, our partnership with Preschool Promise has ensured that as many children as possible are able to get that high quality preschool like Robin had expressed for at least that 1 year. With that being said, it just has shown that kids in Dayton alone have been able to do better with that kindergarten readiness, like 57%, I think it was, of children that are in Preschool Promise have done better versus children that have not been in the Preschool Promise program. So I think it's a really important program for our kids.
Great. And Robin, what's your experience been with URS in terms of referrals and the families that you're referring to us?
URS is incredible. You all play a really critical role in the community to come alongside our families and our children. And my big request would be to have another URS in another part of town so that we can serve more families and children. So you all play just a really critical role in our community. Thank you for all you do.
All right, well, this next story is about London, who attends preschool at URS, and how the services she receives every single day impact her family's life. Here in the therapy rooms of URS, children like London have reached many milestones.
There we go. Good girl.
For months, the 3-year-old has worked with therapists to conquer daily tasks like chewing hard foods, reaching for toys, or rolling over.
Before, she wouldn't tolerate laying on her back at all. I'm talking about at all. Now she will lay on her back and play on her back. She will even go to sleep. Before, I couldn't even get her to even sleep on her back.
London's mother, Cherise, learned shortly after her daughter was born that she suffered from a condition known as microcephaly, meaning her brain is not fully developed. She was also diagnosed with a form of cerebral palsy. Cherise says she knows London is happy, but there are difficult moments.
I just feel like she's missing out on different things.
After relying on family for the first 2 years, Cherise discovered URS.
Her having her therapy here is much easier for me.
Where's London? There she is. Good job.
London now has speech and occupational therapy, including feeding therapy and physical therapy, all in one place. It saves Cherise from having to leave work or drive to more than 150 therapy appointments per year. And having on-site nursing services gives her peace of mind.
I worry a lot about her, but I don't worry as much because I know she's safe here.
Cherise hopes one day London will be able to walk, run, and play with other kids, but for now, she celebrates every sign of progress. So many wonderful stories here today of the people directly impacted by all of your donations out there. Again, to call and donate right now, 937-293-0200. We want to take a look now at the Dayton Freight Corporate Board, which are all of the organizations here in the Miami Valley who have supported URS by donating $500 or more in 2020. That is the Nom Family Foundation, the Disability Foundation, the Trailer Doctors, the Richard and Jacqueline Seafring Charitable IRA, the Theodore and Deborah Schwartz Charitable Fund, Think Patented Tour de Gem Event Fund at the Dayton Foundation, which is another local cycling event here, Treasure Isles Flea Market, UBS Financial Services, Watson's, WDTN, Dayton CW, which we're very proud of here, WHIO TV, the Wright Brothers Aero Dayton International Airport, Wright Pac Credit Union, 104.7 WTUE, 91.3 WYSO, and Young's Jersey Dairy. So again, thank you to all of the wonderful organizations here who have donated to URS this year in 2020. And Dennis Grant now is sitting down with Todd Rodden and Nancy Slezak from Synchrony to talk about all of the ways that they support URS.
Hi, I'm here again with our friends from Synchrony, Nancy Slezak and Todd Rodden, and we really appreciate their support in so many things they do. They've been out here for Engage Day time after time, helping to accomplish a lot of work, but also doing a lot of fun stuff with our clients and the carnival and everything else. And, you know, it's great that they have found so many ways to make a difference in this community and to give back to kids and adults with disabilities right here. And I'll tell you, you know, we're really proud to be associated with an organization that cares so much about diversity and supporting people with disabilities. They really go above and beyond to make that happen, and we're deeply appreciative of it. And, you know, I'll tell you, the fact that they won the best places to work for disability inclusion is absolutely incredible. You know, they're one of the few top tier corporations in this country who got a perfect score in terms of how they're rated for that. So you guys should be really proud. We're proud of you, and great to have you as a community partner. So Todd, can you tell us a little bit about, you know, how Synchrony supports the community and your People with Disabilities Network?
Yeah, hey, thanks, Dennis. So yeah, our People with Disability Network really is just a group of very engaged, passionate volunteers that really span across all of the Synchrony locations. But for example, here based out of our Kettering hub, we have nearly 200 folks who are actively part of our PDN group. You know, and really the mission of the Peoples with Disability Network really revolves around 3 core tenets. There's awareness, outreach, and then also promoting hiring. So awareness, we sponsor lots of activities within our workplace, make sure people understand some of the challenges individuals with disabilities have, not only in the workplace, but also in the community at large. Okay. Then clearly outreach. So that's working with community partners, including URS, where we've had a decade-long engagement with the great folks at URS, how we can provide service and support for those with disabilities in our community. And then last is, you know, opportunity for us, how can we promote the hiring of individuals with disabilities and bringing them into what we call our Synchrony family as well. So we've had active, you know, motions in all 3 of those categories, and really like to highlight, you know, from a hiring perspective, we've hired over 140 people locally just within our Kettering hub with disabilities over the last few years.
You know, that's absolutely incredible. And our Employment Services Program and I were very pleased to be invited to participate in your planning for how to make it even more inclusive when you started your new hiring initiative a few years ago. So thanks for including us, because that is so much a core part of who we are and what we're all about. Nancy, can you talk a little bit more about, you know, how you see us being a part of your Families at Work priorities in terms of that pillar in your charitable giving?
Oh, absolutely. Our foundation for our corporate citizenship strategy is called Synchrony Families That Work. And we're really working with struggling working families and helping them in 4 particular areas. One is housing, because we want to make sure folks have safe, stable, affordable housing. Another pillar that we call it is out of school care, which is really quality preschool, after school, and summer school programs, which is exactly where URS fits in to our strategy, because you have a 5-star preschool, you have excellent after school activities, and you're very inclusive, which is all part of who we are as well. Our 3rd pillar is economic security, which also we're able to help URS with, because the families don't have to keep traveling, you know, from place to place, and doctor's appointments and schools and all of that. You're a one-stop shop for these families, which is awesome. You provide amazing services. So you also fit our strategy that way as well. And our 4th pillar is hunger, because we know food insecurity is a very significant problem in our country, unfortunately. So those are our 4 focus areas, and URS, you fit right in there.
Yeah, we hit them all. And, you know, being part of the CACFP federal food program with free lunches and breakfasts and snacks for all these kids and adults, you know, we do hit just pretty much every one of those buttons for you guys. And we appreciate the support you provided. You know, honestly, many of the families we work with, they really have nowhere else they can go. You know, nowhere else where you can have nursing services as well as therapies on site, parent support groups. We understand the challenges they face. So what a great opportunity for us to give to them and for you to support us in making that possible. Thank you guys so much.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, Synchrony comes through for URS in so many ways, and we need you to come through right now. We're done at 2 o'clock. If you haven't called already, call now, 293-0200, or you can donate online, ursdayton.org. Let's take a moment here one last time to thank our major sponsors of this year's telethon. The presenting sponsor this year, IBEW NECA, our feature sponsor, Hollywood Gaming, and Raceway Guys, thank you very much. The microphone sponsor, the ones Brooke and I have been holding all day, sponsored by Sporty Strikes and Bikes, our corporate board sponsor, Dayton Freight, and the star board sponsor, Reek Services. Now it is time to get the clock counting down, and Charles D. Berry, the man himself, is joining us live at the Eichelberger Community Center at URS, because he is the sponsor of our final 3-minute match of the year. Chuck, it would not be a telethon without you. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. As you know, it is the 42nd annual telethon here on WDTN. I've been hosting for 26 years, but you've got me beat by a long time. Take me through your personal history with URS.
I'm not even going to, Mark, I'm not even going to try to figure out the math like you're doing, but you're a big-time TV star. I'm just going to talk about that. I actually got involved with what was UCP, United Cerebral Palsy, back in 1974 when I did Hike for the Handicap. And then they said, boy, we got to get you involved with the organization. So I joined the board at UCP in 1978. So that's actually when I got involved. I don't know how many years that is. I think it's 40 some odd years. I'll let you figure out the math. Brian Davis, I guess, was talking with Dennis a little bit earlier, and I heard a rumor that a big storm is coming. It's going to be a very localized storm. I don't know how Brian does that, but that's coming up here a little bit later on. So maybe here in the next 10 minutes or so is what, I mean, that's how precise they can do the weather. So that's coming up.
I think he picked it up.
I'm glad to be out here for the telethon.
Yeah, he picked it up, I think, on Live Doppler 2 HD. Chuck. But listen, about a minute and a half to go with this matching segment.
I know, it's just amazing what they can do with technology.
You know, Chuck, you and the Berry family have a rich history of supporting URS. You chaired the first capital campaign in 1998. Once again in 2015, you launched the volunteer program. You buy ducks for all the clients at the regatta every year. And you're one of the team members, of course, that joins us every year with the Young's Charity Bike Ride. You personally and your family have created an amazing legacy with URS. Maybe not a fair question, but over the years, is there one thing that stands out to you that you're most proud of?
Well, just the progress that UCP has made over the years, and just how many clients they served, and just the great progress that has been made. And I'm glad to be a part of it. And it's just getting better and better, and I'm just hearing rumors, talking with Dennis and Chris Corba here, that things are looking very positive, but people need to keep calling in.
All right, glad to hear that since we're here in the studio. It feels weird to be kind of disconnected from you guys, but good to see everybody. We're down to our final 20 seconds. Chuck, tell people why they need to call right now.
It's because all the money stays here locally in the greater Dayton area, and it just helps a lot of clients.
All right,
call
there he
right
is.
now. I believe the number is on the screen.
You are correct. 293-0200. Admiral Berry himself, Charles D. Berry. Chuck, thank you so much. And he'll be back a bit later with more on that storm that was forecast for a very isolated area in the Miami Valley, Brooke.
Very isolated.
Okay, thanks, Chuck.
In the news business, that's what we call a tease. And so we hope that you will stick with us to see what that storm is all about. With that, I think we're going to check in with our telethon chairs this year, as well as Dennis Grant there. We have Matt and Eileen Bonelli. Thank you both so much for being with us today. We're almost to the end of your first telethon. What's it been like for you? What's your experience today?
Well, we've been having a lot of fun, that's for sure, and definitely now that Chuck's arrived, even a little bit more fun. But we've got giant smiles on our faces, even though we've got masks on. It's been a blast. We've been getting messages and texts and calls from family and friends. Even got some time just to sit back and kind of watch some of the coverage here. And we're just having a blast, and we're hoping that we're setting a record.
Absolutely. We thank you both so much for being a part of it this year and for helping to drum up support. Dennis, we have you there as well, and I'm sure we have many thank yous to dish out.
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially I want to thank Matt and Eileen for doing this. This is a great, great day today, and for them to be a part of it really means a lot to us. But I want to thank our ambassadors, Josh and his mom, Tyon and his aunt Erica, who's his caregiver. You know, they really went out of their way to be a part of this and to give up their personal time and to share their stories. But for all the people who were part of those stories, and I want to thank all the volunteers. Although we may not have the giant phone bank and everybody running around here today in the studio like we normally do, there are a lot of people behind the scenes that really have made a huge difference in our ability to put this on today and to make this a big success. But I want to thank everybody out there for the contributions you've made today and the contributions that you can continue to make through the end of this year and even beyond. You know, we do hope that people will take advantage of the monthly giving. It's an easy way to really make a difference in the lives of your friends and neighbors throughout this community. And as Chuck said, all the money stays right here in this community. And since our overhead has been well below 10% for the last 9 years, you know that more than 9 out of every $10 is going to stay right here and go straight for programming. And that's such an important thing. So thank you all so much for what you've done today, and please encourage those who may not have been able to see the telethon to contact us, get on our website at ursdayton.org, and learn more about the critical services we provide to hundreds of kids and adults with disabilities every day.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis, and thank you to our telethon chairs this year. You mentioned the giving doesn't have to stop today. You can always donate anytime, ursdayton.org, but we want to thank the people who have donated today. We're going to send it over to you, Mark.
Yeah, it's our REAK Services Star Board. We're going to take a look at that one last time. These are the great folks who've donated $50 or more to this year's telethon, so let's zoom in and thank them by name. Brett and Jody Ferris and Josh Ty, Kenneth Lures, thank you, Kenneth, Olivia, Elizabeth O'Sullivan, Bob and Carol Halstead, Charles D. Berry himself, the Admiral. We'll talk to him again in just a bit. Jackie Kramer. Jackie, thank you so much. Brian and Karen Davis, there they are, two of my favorite folks. Storm Team 2 Chief Meteorologist and his lovely wife, Karen. Kelly Rollins, Don and Coletta Hughes, thank you guys for being generous. Corliss Schubert, thank you, Corliss, I like that name. Thank you for donating to this year's telethon. Gwen Gildoy, thank you, Gwen. Mary Reek, thank you, Mary, for everything. I mean everything. Carol Glazer, Mike, Jennifer, Skylar Watson, thanks, guys. Judy Holt has been one of our recent donors. Thank you, Judy. Winifred and George McConnell, thanks for your donation to URS. Dropping down now to Deborah Durr. Deborah, thank you so much. Kendra and Nick Oral, thanks, guys. Marianne Cake. Marianne's been with us much of the day. Thank you, Marianne. Vivian O'Connell, my dear, hope you're well. Happy holidays. We'll see you soon, hopefully on a bicycle. Tim Hull and Renee Long. And I think we've got one more row. There we go. Drop down to Michael King. Thank you, Michael. He was on the air with us earlier. Rhonda Hartsock. Thank you, Rhonda. Gary and Diane O'Connell. More O'Connells. Thank you, guys. Flo and Pete Lanesa. Pete, love you. Hope you're doing well. Stay healthy. Happy holidays. And finally, Jane Wampler. So those are some of the great donors to our telethon this year, which brings us to a tote. I do believe we were at 53,000 last time we checked. Drum roll. We're up to 61,110.
Thank you, Jim, for clapping. we have quite, less applause this year.
Normally there's uproarious applause
right.
Here in the studio,
we
but
appreciate
as you've seen by now, it's a bit different this year. All right, Dennis, Admiral Berry alluded to a storm. Are you seeing stormy conditions where you are?
We certainly have heard things about it, so we dragged Chuck back up here to maybe explain that for us.
Well, I guess this is a very, very, very localized storm that's about to, I think, right in this very spot. So I've heard. I didn't realize you could have storms that localized, but I think it's getting ready to happen here very shortly. So it's going to be, and it's not going to be just your usual storm. I think it's going to be raining something else. Not pennies from heaven, but maybe dollars and money. Speaking of which, man, this is the kind of storm that I'm sure URS likes to have, which means, I guess, and it's an additional, what is it, for 64th anniversary? $64,000.
Oh, my goodness.
To help out this great organization and great cause. So that probably calls the tote board to come up a little bit, and I'm doing it. And for the community and for this great organization that I've been involved with going back actually to 1974 and then 78. I'm not going to do the math. So go Team URS.
Well, thank you, Chuck. I mean, what can you say about that, right? I mean, Chuck has made such a huge difference for this organization and allowed us to change the lives of literally thousands and thousands of people with disabilities and their families over the last 64 years. Chuck's been doing that 42 years on the board. I'll do the math. But, I've got to say, Chuck mentioned he got involved in 1974. He developed such a heart for what we do. He supported us through both of the capital campaigns, allowing us to double the number of people we served in the last one in 2016. And we are so proud of the work that we've done. And we're so proud of Chuck being a big part of it, as well as everybody in the Berry family. His name's on the building. This is the Charles D. Berry Center. And we have a special surprise for Chuck today, because one of the people who meant a lot to this organization was Tom Bankston. And Tom was the executive director here for many, many years. He made a huge difference, and I had the honor of meeting him after I started here over 19 years ago. But we established an award about 12 years ago, and we don't give it away every year. We only give it away when it means something special. So today, thanks to your 42 years on the board and your 46 years of support for this organization, Chuck, and for everything you've done for kids and adults with disabilities throughout this community, and now the establishment of the Charles D. Berry Foundation, which is going to help continue to support this community, we have the Thomas Bankston Lifetime Achievement Award for Mr. Charles D. Berry. So let's give him a hand.
That's awesome.
Hold on to that.
I'm going to hold on to that. You can hold on to the mic.
I think I can do that much. We don't want to ruin the mic. Thank you, Dennis. Now, I'm going to have to talk to you, Dennis, when I come here and visit. That you know, you don't come out and do a bow or drop pebbles or anything like that. Oh. And maybe we'll work on that a little bit. So other than that, thank you. But I do this for the to help the clients and help, as Dennis just mentioned, helping the greater Dayton community. Thank you, Dennis.
It means a lot.
And thank everyone at URS. And congratulations on another successful telethon.
Chuck, we're not quite done yet, but thank you very much. Congratulations on winning the Tom Bankston Lifetime Achievement Award. I was lucky enough to receive that last year, I think it was. And I'd say one of the great honors of my TV career. It hangs proudly on my wall at home. So welcome to the club. But Dennis, when you were running down Chuck's involvement with URS, one that you didn't mention, but I love this one. He talked about his early efforts involving Hike for the Handicapped. He was recognized for his stellar fundraising efforts by Johnny Bench, Reds Hall of Fame catcher, at one of UCP's annual awards banquets. See if there's a story there.
Yeah, I've actually seen photos of that. Chuck, you seem to remember that day.
Well, absolutely. Shaking Johnny Bench's hand, a great catcher and player with that those Red Machine days. And that was an honor to meet Johnny Bench and go to those banquets when I did the Hike for the Handicapped. There's lots of memories, and of course, I got the cane here symbolizing the Rubber Duck Regatta, and I'm also referred to as Admiral Berry. So just a lot of great memories here with this organization. 42 years, Dennis?
42 years on the board. He's now board member emeritus. We can't get rid of him.
Right.
So, no, we're very fortunate to have Chuck in our lives, but we're also fortunate to have all of you. And we really do appreciate the support. This has been an incredible day. We are so thankful for all of you. Thanks to Mark and Brooke and everybody at WDTN, the cameramen out here today, as well as everybody behind the scenes in production. You know, you guys are great. Stuart, Jim Porter, you guys are there for us every year. This event allows us to share our message and make sure people understand and can appreciate our mission. And thank you all so much today.
Well, it's been our pleasure, our honor, and this was a challenge. There was a point we weren't sure there was going to be a telethon this year, but we pulled it off technically, and hopefully we're pulling it off financially as well.
Yeah, now that we're down to those final minutes, too, we want to give you that phone number one last time, 937-293-0200. Call and make your donation now. You saw all of those stories today, the families, the kids, and the adults who are directly impacted by your dollars there, the great work that they're doing at URS.
And we mentioned the website as well, ursdayton.org. That is a place where you can hopefully make a donation completely securely, but it's also a place you can go to just learn much more about this amazing organization, United Rehabilitation Services. You know, learn about the clients, learn about the families, learn about the services. That's where your money goes. And again, hopefully someday soon they'll resume tours, because you and I have both done that. And I'll tell you, we've heard of people say that in stories earlier today. You can see it on TV, but when you actually go there and take the tour and go room to room and see what happens there. It is an amazing place, and there's nowhere like it in the Miami Valley. I mean, if not for URS, hundreds of families would have nowhere else to turn.
And it's something we've learned during the pandemic too. It's much different being face to face and getting to see all of that wonderful work in person as we utilize Zoom and technology in the meantime. So again, we're down to the wire here, the final minutes. You can always go to the website, but if you'd like to participate in today's telethon, we greatly appreciate it, and a large thank you to everyone who has already donated.
All right, one last time, the phone number 937-293-0200. Thanks to our virtual phone operators. You've seen them from time to time throughout the telethon today. We appreciate them being there, taking your phone calls for the past 3 hours. And again, ursdayton.org. And Dennis mentioned some of the names. Really, this was an amazing technical achievement this year by the folks at WDTN. We thank our General Manager, Joe Abizad, for his continuing support of URS. Stuart, our director, Domenic, our producer, Jim Porter, he's been here forever out here in the studio helping us out. The many people behind the scenes who made this possible today. This was not easy, and they pulled it off. So glad to be part of this team.
Yeah, let's take a look at our final total here. That's where we were, and here's what we've done today, what all of you have helped us do. $125,610. An amazing feat today. Thank you all so much, those of you who called and donated.
See you next year. Take care.